Good day and welcome to Club Prairie Fire, the home of Tequila, Tabasco and the Duckworth Lewis Stern system. This is Season 8, Episode 4, what will be titled the Unexpected Test Match Win episode. Well. Sri Lanka, what a miraculous victory. The Test summer has concluded, but not without one last unexpected turn. England, after being in the box seat at 265 for 3 in their first innings, and not to mention having Sri Lanka at 5 for 96, couldn't get it done at the Oval. For only the fourth time against the Lankys on home soil, they went down by a whopping 8 wickets. What does this mean for Baz and the boys? We will get into that in the pod. Also, the Aussies took on the might of Scotland in a 3-match T20 tussle. A series for the ages. We will be going forensically through every single ball on this podcast. The lads in green getting it done in the land of clans and cabers. A nice little hit out before they line up for their 3 T20s and 5 ODIs against their oldest foe, England. Lots to chat about, lots to review and preview in the world of stickies and monster turners. So let's bring in our living legends, Englishman Michael Vaughan and Australian Adam Gilchrist. I think Gilly's giving you the floor there, Vaughany.
Indeed.
Yeah, hi guys. You did forget to mention in the intro, Prof, the most important victory of the week. The England women beat Ireland by 275.
I apologise. I had it in here.
It's there, I can see.
Oh, it is here.
Yeah.
And the England women beat Ireland by 205.
Yeah.
So congratulations.
No, it was the 50 over. 50 over. Kate Cross, captain in the England's women against Ireland. So that was a massive win. That's really the big news in the UK. Not too sure about the test match at the Oval. It was obviously a dead rubber. Didn't really count. So we're all talking about that huge win for the women against Ireland. Great win for them.
Now, Gilly, obviously that's the big news in Perth as well, is it?
That didn't make its way down under, that news. But I noticed on the Test Championship, they did count that last Test match, Vaughany.
Did they?
Yeah, so that's you guys firmly cemented. What's that? 3-6. So you're just making your top 6, your top division at the moment.
Just in there. Well, we might be we might be have to play that relegation. that one-off game against.
Yes.
Who's 7th?
South Africa, and there's still a little bit of time to run on this on the calendar for this one, but there's a little flaw. You had a top 6 second tier of 6. We've only got 9 entrants at the moment, and I gather that's because of the lack of test match cricket for the other 3 nations, being Zimbabwe, Afghanistan and Ireland. So maybe we're going to have to go a top 5 and a bottom 4. So you're top of the table in Division 2. That's very solid position to be in, England. Well done.
England have won another trophy. That's good.
Should I have actually said that a second-tier nation has defeated a first-tier nation? Because, Vaughany, you didn't have Sri Lanka in your top tier, did you?
Yeah.
Well, no, I didn't. And I still don't have them in the top tier.
Oh.
even though they've played great for the last 3 days at the Oval. Yeah, the 2-tier system. I did get quite a lot of responses last night, I've just noticed on social media from many people around the world, which is quite interesting. Now, my 2-tier leagues, obviously, it wouldn't just happen straight away. There would be a time frame for the 2 leagues to be, kind of separated. So there would be a year or so where you'd play and whoever finishes in the top 6 would be in the top 6. And if England aren't, well, they're not playing well enough. But this week, full credit to Sri Lanka. I have to say, Patham Nasanka has just scored one of the great hundreds. Marvellous 100. Even though England had about half a bowler fit. Pretty much they've used all the strapping in the dressing room to strap them up to get out there. Brilliant innings. Thoroughly deserved for Sri Lanka this week.
Now, we will get into that test match in a moment, but I do need to bring in our producer, Ollie. You like to tell us who's sponsoring the show. And obviously you might have a quick opinion on your England losing against Sri Lanka as well.
Well, yes. The sponsoring, I'm actually saving that for next week because there's something big coming on. But there's this more socials, actually, at Club Prairie Fire. There have been some stuff going on. First one, as Vaughany mentioned, I held on to that 2-tier social just in case the result was interesting, which has timed very nicely. Another one we had early in the week was Ollie Pope's captain, getting runs, which again timed beautifully with 150. So Vaughany is bang on the money on socials so far, and they've been fantastic. Another one is obviously Discord. A lot of people chat on there. We won't be doing it this week because the guys are collaborating with Cricket.com.
Oh, that's
brilliant
big.
Channel in India. Got, I think, 500,000 followers on Insta, 10 million downloads. They're going to chat, I think, all things Ashes, IPL, their careers, anything that comes up. So that is really the overall social update, chart update. It's been a while. We've hit number 1 in a new country, South Korea. Everyone, keep it in control.
I knew we'd get there, boys.
That is what our target was.
That is the target audience. We've just got to get up above the border now and get into North Korea and we'll conquer the world.
That could be challenging.
Yeah, exactly right. And a perfect segue into the test match we should talk about was sent in on socials. So this is from Kumara Malakarachi. He loves the show.
He does.
And Sri Lankan, he's grew up in England, I know him from home, but Sri Lankan fan. He said, did you see this article on Crick Info? Now, let me read it to you. One paragraph was, maybe it's down to the personnel. When Lahiru Kumara and Asitha Fernando, two of the most expressive Sri Lankan quicks, were batting at 10 and 11 early in the day, Ollie Stone was hurling bouncers at them. When Kumara ducked one, Asitha called out at him, the stump mic broadcasting this around the world. Let this dick face have it when we're bowling. In brackets, the Sinhalese swear Asitha used doesn't translate to anything comparable in English, but here's our best attempt. So there you go. That was broadcast everywhere.
I've never heard that term dick face before.
I've been called it a couple of times.
I've never heard dick face.
Dick face happens down here a little bit. Yeah, I've been called that. The stump mic was a bit busy during that test match, wasn't? Who was it? Was it Harry Brook? Who was it that said a little something? This cricket's boring, or
was
that him?
Harry tell in the shot selection.
Yeah, Harry had a period on day 2. England arrived 220 for 3 in the controlling the game. They get 260 odd for 3, but in that period to get to 260 odd, they bowled quite wide to him outside off stump, pat the offside, and it was around that time that Harry did say, "This is boring." And then he mimicked taking a guard about a metre outside off stump, and then he was out next ball. Now, Test cricket and cricket in general is one of those games, Gil, isn't it? That if you start to take the piss out of it, it kind of grabs you and bites you. Now, Harry's basically sent the message around the world that he thinks bowling into channel to bowl a few dots to him is boring. I've got a funny feeling he might see that tactic again.
Yeah. Where are the Aussies going next year with him?
Oh, well, it'll either be high or wide.
Yeah. I mean, they tried to fire up their Bazball formula, didn't they? The English but as you said in our WhatsApp chat, Vaughany, that guy like Ben Duckett and Dan Lawrence. I mean, occasionally you got to doff your cap and say you just got a good one, didn't you?
Yeah.
You had one with your name on it. There's not much you could do. A little bit off the track, bit of overhead.
Bounce a bit.
Yeah. So they're a little bit stiff in some instances. I think good on them. They kept the game moving forward.
I think what happened this week is I'm going to take full credit for the Bazballers coming back, because I reminded them on the podcast of the Bazball book. And I think they'd forgotten about it. So by bringing the book back, I think it reminded them of last year when they used to Bazball every day, and it kind of came unstuck against the Aussies in those first 2 games, and they went back to that. They just reminded everyone of what Bazball is this week.
Well, at the same time, you also gave everybody a reminder of what you look like in your underwear. Yeah. So maybe you terrified every Englishman and they just were put off their game.
Yeah. Just to let you know, I've got jeans on this week. I've got jeans on.
Your trousers on?
Yeah, I've got my trousers on this week.
Actually, also, while in between we're recording, just thinking, by you putting the book out, I think you've also got Bazball another job, because he's taking the white ball for England as well since we last recorded.
Yes.
So how long until they're...
I'm intrigued to know what Bazball can bring to the white ball game.
Yeah. Well, what does it look like? What are they going to be claiming? What are they...
Don't
Well,
know.
we invented a runner ball. What's it going to be, boys?
Maybe they'll just go back to really old school and just knock it around for ones.
45 off the first 15.
Yeah, and they'll call it snooze ball, something like that.
Or Bazball is what a shot every ball. Don't leave any. Maybe in one day it's all limited overs. It's 2 shots a ball, so you dummy the sweep, but then hit reverse. It's almost moving the fields around, everything like that. It could be
The Australians against the might of the Scottish. They did hit 15 consecutive deliveries, 2 or over the rope. So that might be a little template there.
And then
look forward to in the much awaited series, Australia versus England. Did you say it was 3 T20s and 5 one-day internationals?
Honestly, I reckon they might get snow in one of these games.
Pushing into October, wasn't
it? Is it then an orange cricket ball, like in the football?
Sure, what they're going to play with? I mean, they'll play with generally cricket plays with the ball that you can't see, so you have to go off. That's what happens now, obviously, in Test cricket. When it gets dark, you play with the ball that you can't see, so the public pay £100 a day to watch the ground staff bring on the sheets. And no, it's no rain. Very warm, nice and humid. Bit of darkness. You go off the pitch, and it's becoming a really good pastime in the UK. Buying a Test match ticket and just watching like the third umpire just walk around the outfield. It's become a real trend, and everyone's loving it. They think it's a really good value for money, and some tickets are about £125 to watch that. It's fantastic value.
But then, Vaughany, when someone like Ollie Pope decides to keep his spinners on for an extra 17 overs in a game that they really shouldn't have lost, they end up losing. So what's better? Is it better to watch England lose a Test match because a captain keeps the spinners on for too long, or is it better to watch the covers come out? And then,
well, I would say that it was worth the try for a few overs, but when the Sri Lankan pair were milking it with their eyes shut, the other thing that I found rather bizarre that the umpires took England. The umpires did England a favour because they were going to carry on bowling, but the umpires took the spinners off because the spinners seemed dangerous. No, they were too dangerous to bowl in the dark.
Really?
Yeah, it was too dangerous. Yeah. Off spinners bowling, what do they bowl? 55 kilometres or miles an hour, whatever it is. Not very quick. And it was too dangerous. Too threatening.
Wokesy wasn't threatening with his offies, was he?
I think there's a bit of work in progress there for Wokesy. I think if you think about T20 cricket, and maybe this will come into the Bazball in the white ball game, maybe Wokesy's off spin will be the go-to because he's got no clue where the ball's going. So how's the batter going to have a clue?
There's something in that. Now, I wanted to ask you, Vaughany, Test Match Special. It's one of my favourite podcasts to listen to. Post-match, Ollie Pope came up and gave an interview. You were standing there with him and, they asked Ollie about the captaincy and something he said was, I just had to block out the outside noise, people's opinions of my captaincy. I'm wondering, was he looking right at you when he said that?
He actually wasn't. But he had a good week with the bat. And that was the main thing. The one thing I was starting to get concerned about Ollie was his batting. And he needed runs. The captaincy, I just don't think it fits with him. I just think he's a better kind of player in the dressing room, just being that vice captain, really dependable as a teammate and giving information to the skipper. I just don't see him as a leader. England were poor this week tactically. I mean, they had about 45 slips with 325 on board. No fine leg. I mean, I just don't know where that tactics come from, but they allowed Sri Lanka to score too freely. And on the third night when Sri Lanka were chasing 219, they got to 94 in 15 overs. And the young lad from Leicester, Josh Shaw, was bowling with 4 slips, short leg slip, wide mid off, wide mid on. I was like, there's acreage out there for Nisanga just to go pop, pop, pop. So tactically this week, England were not very good, but I was delighted to see Ollie Pope get the runs because that absolutely puts away any conversation about his position at number 3, going to Pakistan and New Zealand. But there's still a little bit of work to do with that technical side. On and around off stump, I think the likes of Bummer and co, Cummins and co, will still be able to work out his technical issues around the off stump. He's played 18 games against India and Australia, and he averages 22 against them, and that's what he's got to get right next year.
Did he talk to you at all, Vaughany? Did he sort of not on air, off air? Is there any engagement? Because you try to put your player's cap back on, don't you? And you remember hearing some commentary around, and you could take it really personally. And some players do really carry a sort of a clipboard around in their mind and go, right, they're on the dark side, they're on the blacklist there, and so on. But did he engage with you at all? Do you think he's sort of pushing you away, or not bothered?
I wouldn't say he was overly conversationally with me this week. No. But that's fine. That's cool. That's absolutely cool.
What was your technique? Did you go and talk to journos if you were annoyed at them?
Yes, I would. Yeah. I did the opposite. Yeah, I would always try in a press conference if I felt that someone had hit a nerve, I'd always say hello to them.
Yeah,
and be really kind and nice to them. Whereas deep down, I wanted to smack them in the face.
You let their tyres down the car park. But
yeah. Sent a few mates round to the house, but other than that, it was fine.
Yeah.
You just mentioned in there. What did you make of the debutant, Vaughany? I know Gilly didn't watch the Tough Hours as much. Josh Hull. My highlights.
You're assuming a lot there, Ollie.
I am. Okay, I'll come to you afterwards, Vaughn.
You fucking bang on. You bang on.
Well, Vaughany's the bowling correspondent. Because my highlight was when the slow-mo went to him and he's just dropped an F-bomb because Ollie Stone's dropped one of the terrible, worst catches I've seen in Test cricket. But what did you make of Hull's debut overall?
He's a work in progress. He's 6'8", size 15 wheels. I did think he was going to be quicker than he was. I thought he was going to be a bit sharper, but he bowled a good spell on day 3 morning where he had to set the tone because Gus Atkinson was off with a quad niggle, and he bowled nicely. He bowled nicely in that spell. Got a 3 for in the first innings. The second innings when he bowled, he looked a bit tired. But let's be honest, England's batters gave the bowlers 34 overs to rest. 34 overs. It takes some doing being bowled out in 34 overs, and that's pretty much why England went out to bowl in the second innings, and they just looked flat. They looked a bit tired, a bit jaded. Long summer, so I completely understand that in the second innings with the ball in hand. But I think they have something to work with. But I did think he was going to be a little bit quicker.
Joe Root, obviously player of the series, well deserved. Lots of runs for him. Another highlight of your Test match special today, Vaughany, was when you guys were interviewing Joe and you were asking him, about not winning, and his quote was, "Well, even Coldplay can't be number one every week."
Yeah.
And Jonathan Agnew said, "I don't think they've been number one for a long time." And Joe didn't really know what to say, did he? He was like, "Oh, okay, right."
No, that to me, that to me felt like potentially something that had come out of the dressing room. It's not a Joe Root kind of comment. It's maybe something that, I'm guessing. Maybe Baz has said it in the team chat in the dressing room. I'm just guessing, but it's certainly not a Joe Root style response to a question like that. I think they were number one back in 2021. Is that right, Ollie?
Oh,
have a look. Surely Baz would be saying, split ends can't be number one every week, or crowded house, or something like that.
The good thing about England, they give us so much to talk about. They're brilliant to follow because.
Sorry, I'm just thinking. So he said they can't be number one every week, Coldplay. So that's by virtue of that comment, England assume they're the number one team in the world, even though they're sitting 6th in the Test Championship.
In the second tier.
Number one of Division 2.
They've got to get a little bit more pep in their step, that squad. They're just not confident enough.
No, it's good, isn't it? But we've missed the Bazballers. They've been quiet for a few weeks. They got a bit of a wake-up call in India, so they went quiet for a while. They've played a brand of cricket this summer, which has been sensible. They really have attacked at the right time. They've dug in at the right time. I mean, that chase in Manchester where Joe Root played like Geoffrey Boycott to get the job done, which was perfect for that situation. it's been really nice to see them kind of play different styles of cricket. But I must admit, it was great to see the Bazballers back this week. Not only on the field, but in their comments. It's good to have them back.
It's good fodder. Hey, Prof, I don't know what you got on the agenda there, but I know we're mindful of time, but I'm just wondering if that's the end of the Test summer for England, isn't it? So this time in 12 months, that's when they'll basically be announcing their Ashes squad. I'm just wondering whether 12 months out, should this podcast still be alive in 12 months, Vaughany, you pick just an Ashes 11, your first picked team, just assuming everyone's fit in a year's time.
Right. Okay.
Where it lands.
I'm gonna go. Oh, duck kick.
Yep.
Crawley. Oh no.
It's a good side.
Ollie
Go with
Pope.
that.
There's a long pause before Ollie Pope. Is there an issue between you? No, yeah, Pope.
Ollie Pope will just be there at number 3. I think Root will be 4. I think Harry will be 5. I think Jamie Smith will bat 6. I think Ben Stokes will bat 7.
Oh.
I think Gus Atkinson will be 8. I think, let's get the seamers right, Mark Wood will be in there. Jofra Archer.
Yep.
I think it'll be Shoaib Bashir / Jack Leach. I'm not too sure which spinner.
Okay, cool. Nice job. Keep an eye on that, eh?
Do you want to do the Australian version, or do you want to wait?
Jesus, didn't think of that.
You didn't think that was coming after?
Well, I mean, Kawaja's going to be there. I'll go Renshaw. Let me write this down. Usman.
He's a Yorkie.
Yeah. Marnus. Smith will be back at 4. You'll see it out there. That might be his last series. We've got Travis Head, Mitch Marsh. Who have I missed out there that's in there currently?
Cam
You
Green.
could do with Cameron Green at some stage.
Greeny, of course. Ooh, yeah.
Who's missing Bill? Who you dropping?
Who's your?
Hang on, and then the rest picks itself. I think the 4 bowls still get there and carry. So
that's 12. That's 12.
Lino.
That's 12.
So that's
12.
So Green's in it. So it's Usman, Renshaw.
Need to put Head at the top of the order.
Well, yeah, that's right. They're trying to fit Smithy back in at 4, and they're not quite sure who's going to jump up and step up. I don't know. I think if they do make a change like that this summer coming against India, whoever jumps in there in the opening position could be in for a very tough time. So whether they're still around at the end of that 5 Test match series could be questionable. So I think they'll try and find a way to get a more conventional opener in there. That's where I see Renshaw coming into the equation.
Interesting, because like Travis Head would be quite like for like with Warner, the left-handed, the aggressor with complementing Khawaja. But as you say, if you leave that series averaging 8, then a bit more pressure comes.
So you're saying we need some cannon fodder? Is that what you're saying?
Send someone in there, a bit like they did to Finchy in India came out here 2018.
Yeah.
They said, go up there and just take the shine off it for a series, and then we'll drop you and we'll get someone else in.
I tell you what, what's happening in the UK is the talk in the county game is like most players want to bat at 5 and 6 in the county game, but opening T20 cricket. And like when you're a young player, you're going at Boot Hill, the short leg. It's like the youngsters have been thrown at the top of the order. It used to be the other way around.
Yeah.
Why is that, Vaughany? Why is it switched to lower down?
Well, because, the ball does a bit of less and they all play the aggressive way. And obviously, if you're playing the aggressive way and the ball's doing something, you've less chance of being successful when you get down the back end. They all seem to play spin well with all the reverses and the kind of trick shots. There's a mammoth amount of players batting at around 4, 5, and 6 that are scoring a decent amount of runs and then open the batting in T20 cricket.
Yeah, so if you're really smart, way back, you would have learnt to put gloves on and pretend to catch and bat at 7, where you're a long way away from a brand new ball first up. And if you're out there when the second new ball comes on, you've normally got a few under your belt and you club them. And then you go in and open in white ball cricket. But you've got to be very intelligent to work that out. I'm going to go with let's take Renshaw out of that. I'll put I don't know, Head or Smith as opener. If it was being picked today, like you're saying, Vaughany, if your team was picked today, they're the 2 11s that we've got fronting up, and we'll see where we land with it eventually.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if Jordan Cox makes it into the England team by then.
Yeah, right.
Okay. So let's round up this England series. Obviously, summer is over. There's a little stat that I heard today that it was the shortest summer of cricket since 1954 in the UK, as in the least amount of overs bowled. So each game averaged 254 overs. So you're on the broadcast, Vaughany, but you're also a man that likes having a lunch date set up if you know something's going to finish early. I'm just wondering which of the test matches did you have the best day 4 on? As in, where was the best lunch? Where did you kick on to?
Yesterday.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I just found a pub around the back of the Oval. A few Camden Hells. Beautiful lager. Nice pot of Camdens. And forgot to eat.
So a little dusty today, Vaughany?
Yes.
Or?
Yeah, so you do the rest. I like yesterday. End of the summer, it felt like a time to go out with a few work colleagues, have a few pots. Dissect. It was quite interesting because we kind of realised at the end of the game, but we didn't talk about it at the start of the game, that England picked this Joss Hull as the left armer for his debut. And he was picked ahead of Matthew Potts. Now, Matthew Potts at Lords, you could argue, was England's best bowler. He didn't get all the wickets, but he was magnificent. Bowled beautifully. Now, in batting terms, they've gone... So they picked Josh Hull, who's playing for Leicestershire in the second division. He averages around 75 with the ball. So he's just work in progress, 20 years of age. For Matthew Potts, at the Oval, with the conditions as they were, which would have been perfect for Potts, if a batter had scored, I think Potts bowling at Lords, probably the value of runs was around 80. So if a batter had scored 80 runs at Lords, he gets the nod at the Oval or the tap on the shoulder from selector saying, by the way, you're not playing this week because we're picking a young kid who's, from Leicester, and we think he's a bit of a cool dude who's going to be good in the future. What's the equivalent? Batters never, ever get dropped.
Yeah.
And it's the first time I thought, bowlers, it's a bit harsh on the bowler. Matthew Potts, he's just come back into the side, not played at the Oval, would have done well because it was his type of wicket for a young kid that looking to the future. It must be awful to think that they've picked someone ahead of you when you've just had a good game. And batters never, ever get that.
Yeah, the result's more tangible, more real, like it's more obvious, isn't it, for a batter? It's a bit more stark compared to a bowler. What value do you put on a spell of none for 15 off 8 that built up a lot of pressure and the others got the reward? So, yeah.
Yeah, speaking of records, like you just mentioned there, and batters. So this one from Cricket Info, just more interesting than anything else. There's 14 instances in cricket where a batter has averaged less than 35 in a test series, despite making a score of 150 plus. 3 of those from English players this year. Ollie Pope in India, Ben Duckett in India, Ollie Pope beat Sri Lanka. So there you go. In terms of consistency,
Ollie, I'll be brutal. England's batting is purely reliant on Joe Root.
Yep.
Purely. If Joe Root gets the runs that he generally does consistently, the rest of them can play their way and they can get a quick 50 or 60. And Joe's rock of 100 pretty much every other game just gets them to that score that's very, very competitive, and they win more than not, particularly here in the UK. If Joe has an iffy game like he did at the Oval, where he didn't get many runs, it just completely exposes the rest of them. He's the glue.
Just reflecting on some of the chat in the last minute or two, Vaughany, who were you with at the pub yesterday?
Just colleagues, work colleagues.
Yeah, no names?
Yeah. Didn't know many of them, to be fair.
Out of that?
Punter was there, wasn't he?
Was he
in the coverage? Not in the pub.
He wasn't in the pub. I didn't see Ricky.
Was
my Telegraph team. I had a drink with the Telegraph team and all the BBC team.
So was Tuffers there? Is that
Tuffers,
why you're?
He had to get back to Dorney. Yeah, Dorney's back, so he had to go and see Dorney. Cookie had to go and get back to his sheep. Aggers had to go and get back to his trumpet.
So it was just you on your own drinking pint.
With the statos. Just crunching
Statos.
numbers.
Yeah.
Crunching. What did you say on it? Was it 254 overs per test match?
Yeah.
It was, yeah.
Yeah.
Shortest in
So
history.
let's get it right. Two leagues. I'm spot on with that. 4-day cricket, 96 overs a day. I'm spot on with that because, by the way, I'm not trying to take us out of a bit of work here, but why would you pay for 5 days if you're a broadcaster now? Seriously.
Yeah.
Why, if you're the head of Fox, you're head of Sky, the head of TNT or Star India, why are you paying for that 5th day?
Yeah, you'd want to
It should be
discount.
free. Should be like when you get a coffee voucher or whatever you do.
Loyalty
4
card.
You get the
coffees,
stamps.
loyalty card,
You get
stamps,
stamps.
5th day free. I
Yeah.
think you're right.
That should be for the broadcasters and the public now.
Agreed. And start earlier, 10 a.m. Just get it going.
Correct.
Earlier.
Get him out there. You're right, Ollie. I mean, we're playing in September. It's really dark at 5:30 and we're starting at 11. And by the way, really clever in the UK. When we lose time, guess when we had it on? At the end of the day, when it's pitch black. Brilliant.
Yeah, I mean, here in Australia in summer, you want it to start later because you've been out later the night before enjoying the sunshine.
Mm.
You've had a few drinks. I don't know about starting earlier here. Do you?
In England.
No, but the good thing in September when you do the coverage is you know you're going to be in the pub at 7. Because you can't play past 6:30, so that's at least you can plan your evening.
Yeah,
which is quite nice.
Absolutely. Now, has everybody said enough on that English summer, the English series? Everybody happy to move
great.
on?
1-5.
Gilly, I know you've probably got a bunch of stuff written there. Have you said enough about the English series?
I cannot offer anything more on that series other than say that they missed out on the clean sweep 6, a perfect summer. And the last team to do that, I believe, was 2004, led by our skipper on this program.
Yeah, we won 7 that year.
Yeah.
20 years is a long time between drinks. The other series, Australia, they took on the Might of Scotland.
Yep.
Who are they top tier?
I like this. Yeah, to be fair, Scotland I think they beat England in Edinburgh a few years ago. It's a tough place to play because, I've actually studied a little bit of this series, and the Australians, they've played some good golf courses.
Yeah.
They're up there playing a great style of golf at all the great courses. I think they played Muirfield on one day. That's a magnificent track.
Well, they're about to play England, so you've got to sharpen up on your golf.
Yeah. Well, England have been playing some good courses. They've been out and about playing nice courses, Queenwood, Centurion. Yeah, it's good to see.
Yeah.
Very, very good. With that third result, we won by 6 wickets. Cameron Green, that man we mentioned before, had a hell of a game. 3 for 35 and, 62 runs off just 39 balls.
Yeah.
He seems to be coming into his own just before this English series. Did you want to toss up a little T20 team, Gilly, that you'd nominate for this first? No, definitely not.
Hey,
not sure.
Jake Fraser Berserk's not done so well, has he?
No.
Two duck, and also the Travis Head record of getting a massive score then getting a duck is phenomenal, and he keeps doing it once again.
You don't want to lose form; you just get out.
He got 80 off 25.
Yeah,
I don't think is mathematically possible. I'll have to.
And then a golden.
Yeah. There's got to be a stat on that. Is he?
Oh, during the World Cup it was, wasn't there? It was astonishing. Yeah, and the other one we mentioned about 3 weeks ago, maybe we talked about big games in Scotland. I can't remember who they played, but they posted one of the biggest scores ever. And we spoke about BMAC, didn't we? Brandon McCullum. Do you remember? I thought, it could be Bazball. He is a bit of a Bazballer, this Scottish star. Back-to-back half centuries for Scotland at the Grange.
Have we worked out if it is Brendan McCullum in disguise? I know we were talking about that during the World Cup because this guy has a big moustache. It doesn't look real.
I'm just trying to look at the squad there. So
Stoinis has come good at the right time.
Yeah, Aaron Hardy. I mean, Josh Inglis was the fastest ever T20 100 for Australia in men's
Englishman.
cricket, I think, or
Yeah.
all cricket. There's a desire to mix the results in there these days, isn't there? Between the men and the women to say who's the quickest or fastest or whatever. But that's just reconfirming his positioning in the Australian setup, and he'll continue to put pressure on Carey, I suppose, in Test cricket, whilst ever he's punching out results like that and keeping very well. What else?
The bowlers they played around, was it Xavier Bartlett came in for a bit as well, and there's Sean Abbott as well.
He's always very good.
I haven't seen the series, guys. I can't really comment. It's not really tickled my fancy.
It didn't look warm. They cut to the crowd a few times. Like some mist came over at the Grange, and it was a delayed start.
What temperature would it be in Scotland at the moment? Because I'm about to go. I'm going there in 3 weeks.
What are you doing?
Scotland, it's nice, pleasant. 15.
My missus is from Glasgow, so we have to go back and do the whole family trip, and we might go see a couple of Celtic matches. My father-in-law's
It's Celtic, are you? Not Rangers?
We're Celtic. We are, and
Who's your favourite player again? You were saying
Heinrich Larsson.
Yeah.
Scott McDonald.
Scott Brown.
Henrik Larsson. Yeah, weird. So you're going back a few years there, Pro.
Oh, am I? Australia, we're delayed on the broadcast down here, so we're just getting those matches now.
I haven't even heard of Ange Postecoglou yet.
So I packed the woolens. Packed the woolly underwear.
I played as a overseas pro in Scotland when I was a youngster. Yeah, I played for in the county league up there. Played for Perthshire.
Good side.
I lived in a little village called Scone. In Australia, we'd say Scone, but they called it Scone. Scone Palace. And I actually, I think I came third in the bowling averages.
Good league.
Yeah, I like that, Gil. Gil, that's a good effort. Did you get any hundreds up there? Because I'm just thinking that if you've got 100 up there, that's quite similar to getting 100 in Yorkshire on a Tuesday, because I think it might be even harder.
Yeah, because that's a Yorkshire pudding of a track. And that's
you're playing on some soft decks, slow outfields. You're playing in the snow. It's not easy up there.
Playing at Arbroath on a Wednesday evening in a league, in a cup match. That's tough. That's tough work. There's big expectation on you. Julie got knocked over for a globe there.
How long were you there for?
It's not easy to swing the willow with all those layers on, is it?
No, that's right. But our home ground in Perthshire is the North Inch. That's what's the ground area is called. And it was under 12 feet of water about 4 months before the first game was played. And it was like batting in a bunker on a golf course. There was so much sand and silt and shit all over it, but great time, great people, thirsty, social, and that was good fun.
Now, as much as I'd love to keep reminiscing about Scotland, we are running short on time, and Ollie has written one heck of a quiz.
Right.
You boys have got to get to your other podcast today. You've got 2 bookings.
Yeah.
So Ollie, lead the way here, mate.
Yeah, absolutely. But we're gonna dive into that Perthshire time again for sure, because obviously Carnoustie golf. I'm sure Gilly had lots of things there, and Afghanistan, New Zealand test delayed, wet outfield, so we can't talk about that.
Which
big series going on.
That's now, is it?
That's right. Yeah, that's right now. They missed all of day 1, I think, and
where
day 2. That is somewhere wet. So let me just check. Greater Noida. They've just taken lunch. They've just taken lunch because
where is Greater Noida?
Day 2, it's still very wet. Great. I actually don't know.
They're in India.
No, I think New Zealand. I don't. I'll have to check. That's a new one.
You do the quiz. I'll have a look. You do the quiz.
I think it's in India. I'll
check where Greater Noida is.
Yeah.
You get into the quiz.
Okay, beautiful. So the quiz, it can only be about one thing: Sri Lanka, of course. Oh, we've got a visitor. And if you're listening, that is great. No cheating though. No barking. When the answer comes up. Yeah, anything like that. Beautiful. So Sri Lanka is the theme this week. So what is higher, Gilly's test average against Sri Lanka or Vaughany's?
Ooh. Or you park
I'm going to go Gillies.
You took them for 2 in a game, didn't you? Was that?
No, that was the Windies.
Windies. I'll go. Oh, no, I've got a few globes. I'll go just me. Just.
Gilly 42.55.
Trouble.
Vaughany 41.94. Gilly half a run.
Yeah.
So who got that point there I missed?
They both said Gilly.
Oh, well done.
Correct, yeah.
Quick update. Greater Noida
Hell of a ground.
Yeah, it's in India. So it is.
Oh.
It served as Afghanistan's home ground before. Started in 2017. And yes, you're correct, dog.
I think the dog was saying the name of the stadium, which is the Shahid Vijay Singh Pathik.
He also said it's in Uttar Pradesh, a state of India.
Okay. Perfect. 1-1 in the quiz. Number 2. What is higher? Vaughany's top test score and Gilly's top ODI score combined, or Sri Lanka's top individual test score ever? So you guys, so top ODI for Gilly and Vaughany's test put together versus Sri Lanka's top individual test score.
So I think that's Mahela Jayawardena, isn't it?
No comment, but good guess.
Oh,
that's
fine.
Oh,
That's fine.
I'm going to say.
Crunching some numbers here, if you're listening.
I'm going to say the combination of me and Gilly.
It's higher. Okay.
yeah, has to be. Yep.
Gilly and Vaughany. Gilly's ODI top score 172 plus Vaughany's 197 is 369, which is 5 less than Jayawardana's 374 against South Africa in 06.
374.
Correct.
Oh.
Yeah. So there you go. No points.
0 points. So we're still 1-1.
Yeah. Number 3. 6 of the current team for Sri Lanka average more than 40 in Test cricket. Mendes is the highest with 77.
Hey, Ollie, just wait a minute. I logged in on the next podcast earlier, and you're right. I'm trying to get rid of them.
Oh, well done.
We thought you might have done that when your message was going. I've just logged on.
You're 7 minutes.
And you hadn't appeared.
How do I lock? Oh, there they are. I can see it. Guys,
You'll be within
He's talking at cricket.com.
7 minutes. No.
Right. Maybe log them off. Oh,
Yeah.
So that's us.
That's
Oh, he hasn't just cut himself out of us, has he?
Oh,
no, I'm just going to rid of them. Right, I've got rid of them.
You've gone from us as well, I think, Bonnie. We can't see your cam.
Yeah, I'm back. I got rid of them. Binned them.
Oh, well done. There you go.
Oh, my God.
Fun for the edit. Oh, yeah, and there's an echo now. I'm sure that's coming from. Okay. Let's plough on. Hopefully it's just one stream. Are you getting the echo as well, Gilly?
Yep.
Vaughany, you getting it?
Yep.
Perfect.
Okay, so it's from Vaughany. It's interesting.
Can't hear, boy.
Maybe do one more question, just in case there is an echo, because we'll drive our listeners mad. Just do one more, and then we'll get to the other one.
Yep. Okay. Perfect. We'll do one more. Matai Mullaratharan was known for his bowling, but what was his batting strike rate in Test cricket? Nearest wins it.
74.
67.
67 and 74. Wow. It's 70. So just closer is Vaughany for the win. Beautiful.
Well done, England. They needed one this week. Congratulations to you. You got a toast for us there, Gilly. We've got to get you to this other podcast, which Vaughany has already started.
I'll tell you what, I'm going to have a real big one of these. I feel like I'm hallucinating with all this echo around, and there's a little pour and a little authentic shooter glass from the town of Tequila. I'm going to tell you, congratulate Ollie Pope on his first series win as England captain. That's a wonderful effort, mate. There's a big future ahead of him there. Cheers, guys.
Cheers, Ollie.
Cheers. Thank you, guys. Just a reminder, you can find us at Club Prairie Fire. That is everywhere. That is YouTube, Insta, that is TikTok,
Yep.
Twitter,
Yep.
X. All of those, you can find us there. Make sure you tune in and have a listen. Also, these boys are going to be on Cricket.com. Cricket.com. Have a look for them there and follow and like and subscribe to all of us. Gentlemen, good luck with that. Lovely to see you.
See you later.
See you next week. Yeah, g'day. Hope you enjoyed that vid. If you did, please click like somewhere there and then make sure you click subscribe as well. There's lots more vids on this channel. Tell your friends, tell your parents, and we'll chat to you soon.